Hi everyone, this is Prometheus, the maker of the Prohawk heads-up display, or HUD, and today I'm going to be talking about HUD assets, or virtual inventory. I'm going to go over 7 topics: viewing assets, types of assets, acquiring assets, trade, and the giving and receiving of assets, the treasure pouch and currency card, then the virtual market, and then finally transactions and looking at your history of transactions. So let's get started with viewing assets, and then we'll go into the types of assets that you have. To view your assets, there's a couple of ways to do it. The first, of course, you'll notice we have a assets button. Now, your HUD will, of course, be different from this one. Each game has a unique look and feel to it. So one way that I can get to my assets is to simply click this button. And you may have one like it on your HUD. If you don't, there's a couple of other ways that you can do this. One way that you can always do this is from the main menu. I can click my menu button, and then from the main menu, I can pick List, which is a general utility function to list all kinds of information. But in this case, I'm going to pick Inventory to list my inventory. That's a way that you can always get to this screen. The final way that you can get to it, if you are using the web-based panel, you'll see this button here called Assets, which achieves the same effect. All 3 of those techniques come back to this place. Once I'm here, I have a display of what I have of my virtual assets. And it's a good time now to talk about types of assets. Virtual assets, or HUD assets, differ, of course, from Second Life inventory. The things that are listed here don't represent prims or anything that's physical or that would wind up in your Second Life inventory. These are conceptual assets only that exist within the heads-up display system. So they're meant for roleplay. They're meant as a mechanism for transferring virtual wealth or items back and forth to facilitate different role play. There are 2 kinds of virtual assets. The first, of course, is currency that you'll see right here. This is the most obvious. This is essentially money. Depending on your game, this can take many different forms. In my training is a very traditional medieval fantasy type arrangement of gold, silver, and copper coins. This could show up as dollars, credits, or really any other kind of currency in any denominations desired by the game. So in this case, the game is on a gold standard. The valuations that you'll see in items are going to be in gold. Anytime you see a value, that's going to be units of the base currency. So here we can see that the base is gold, and whatever that currency is, that's what all of these valuations are going to be in. Change is automatically made for you. If I did not have any silver coins, for instance, and I wanted to give someone a silver coin and all I had were gold, I could do that. I could simply give them a silver coin and the system will make change for me. Down below here, you'll see the second kind of virtual inventory. These are assets that are worth currency, but are not themselves currency. This list, of course, is also completely dependent upon the game that you happen to be playing. So in this case, what you see are examples of ore and an example of, say, a craft-like scenario where I can turn iron ore nuggets into iron ingots using various processes. Just remember that value line items always pertain to the total amount listed, not a per item valuation. Acquiring assets. There's really many ways you can do this. You can have them simply given to you, and I'll show you how to do that in the next segment. Someone may give you or let you click on one of these 2 items. This is a currency card or a treasure pouch. One or both could be available in the game that you are playing. Or you could just click on a variety of different items that might give you currency as well. Next, we're going to be talking about trade. And to facilitate this section, I've brought in my alt Adra, who's sitting there next to my treasure pouch. In order to do trade, the first thing you have to do is to target the person that you want to trade with. So the first thing I'm going to do is to target Adra. Now, I've already gone through in my previous video on dice rolling the different ways you could target, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it quickly here now. You can refer to that video for more details. But here's Adra listed here. He's right next to me. I'm going to click the button that corresponds to him, and we've got him targeted. Once I have a target, I can do several things. The first thing I can do, as we know, is I can roll dice, but now I can also give him virtual inventory or currency. To do that, I click on my target button, or I select target from my menu, and you'll notice I have a new button, Give. This Give button only shows up if you have a target selected, because if you do not, there's no one to give to. Once I have a target, in this case Adra, I can click on this Give button, and I get a box. And this box is asking me to input what it is I would like to transfer over to Adra. And conveniently, it also provides me another listing of my own assets. I'll go ahead and give him, let's say, a silver. Now notice how it's listed as silver coins. I can abbreviate, as long as the abbreviation makes it clear what it is I'm trying to give. I'm also going to say transfer 1 FE4. So I can list more than one item, but on each line I can list an amount. In fact, here I'll give him 2. And I can give an item. In this case, also notice that I couldn't just say 2 FE, because I have 2 FE things. I have FE ingots and I have FE ore. So in this case, I do have to specify enough so that the system understands what I mean. Once I have my list of items that I'd like to give him, I go ahead and click Save, and it's all transferred. Now let me go the other way so that you can see what happens if you receive items. Now I have Prometheus targeted on Adra, so what I can do is I can click, now this is off the screen, you won't see this, but I'll do it quickly in another window. I will give to Pro a copper piece, and maybe I'll give him one of those FE4 ingots back. Actually, you didn't see too much on the screen, but what you'll see here in chat, it notifies me that I've received 1 copper coin and 1 nugget. Much like with rolling dice, this can happen at any distance. While Adra's sitting right next to me, he wouldn't have to be. He could be anywhere else on this sim or even on another sim. And if he were to process this give of assets over to me, I would receive this notification and I would receive the assets. Up until now, I've been showing you how to perform these operations using the HUD's internal menus and forms. But let me show you how easy this is through the chat line, and how quickly you can accomplish all of this as well. Oftentimes the commands will work much faster than using the menus and forms. First, what I can do is I can check my inventory very quickly by saying list inventory, or for short I can just say list INV. And there we are. Once I know what I have, I can target Adra. And again, I can abbreviate by just saying TAR, like that. I can then give him some stuff by saying give, say 1 copper and 1 silver. The ampersand allows me to put more than one thing on a line. That's done. And then I can turn my target off again very quickly. So without going through a lot of menus and a lot of forms, if you turn your web menu off, which is the mode that I'm in now, you get this stuff put into your chat box instead. So rather than waiting for forms to pop up and blue dialog boxes and all this, you can just very rapidly perform many operations simply using the chat line. I can do the same thing with dice, by the way. Let me target Adra again. I'll roll some dice, give him a gold, and untarget him again. So very rapid, very quick. The HUD doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming once you understand how to use these basic commands very quickly. I'm now going to show you how the currency cards and treasure pouches work. You can see one of each right here between us. This is a currency card up here, this is a treasure pouch down here. Both of them work identically. The only difference is the currency card is a design that's more suited for modern or science fiction based games, whereas a treasure pouch is more intended for a medieval type setting. Other than that, they work the same. What these are virtual containers. Each of them will allow you to fill them with inventory from your HUD asset list, and then give those items over to other people, much as you would any other SL object. So what I'll do to begin is I'll have to fill one of these cards. To do that, I just have to click it. And what I get is a blue dialog box, very simple, that allows me to virtually place some kind of object or asset into the box. So I can put say 1 silver, and I'll put 1 FE4. 1 item type per line, but I can have more than one of that type if I have more than one object. In fact, I'll put in 2. What you'll see is you'll notice here in chat it confirmed that I have given those items over to the card. The card itself now changes its text. You can see a few things related to this card. One is my name, so the card will say whose card it is and who filled it. It will list the items that are inside it, and then it will give you a total value of the items that are in the card. Once I've filled a card, other people or myself can click on it. Let's say that I made a mistake and I want to change the contents of this card. All I have to do is click it again, and essentially I'm restarting, so I can relist what I want to put in here. Instead, I want to put in a copper and 3 FE4. What you'll see very quickly, it said that I emptied it. So I got back the items that I put into it. You can see that here in chat. I got the silver coin, I got the 2 ore nuggets, and then it put in the copper coin and the 3 nuggets. So that's how I can reset or refill these items, this card or the pouch. It works the same way. Here, I'll put something in the pouch too. Once I have filled one of these items, another player can click on it. So I, under Adra, will click on the card and you'll see what happens. Now, in this case, you can see right here, it says emptied by Adra. So what happened is, in another window, I used Adra's AV to click on this card and it shows that it was emptied by him. I'll do the same thing with the pouch down here. And you'll see that that too has now been listed as emptied by Adra. Now this is one of the modes in which these devices work. I rezzed the card and the pouch, I clicked on them, I filled them, he emptied them, and now it shows as emptied. And what I can do is refill it from there if I want to. This is a persistent state, so no matter how many times it gets emptied, I can leave it there if I want to, and someone can come along and empty it. Now there's another way to use these items in a disposable or one-time use. So what I'll do, let me focus on the card. I'll get rid of this pouch. I'll refill the pouch again. Only now I'm going to pick it up and put it into my inventory. From there, what I can do is I can give this item over to, say, Adra. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it on him. From there, I can have Adra now res the card, so let me just res it. And you can see a couple of things. You'll see the name has changed, his leg's in front of it, but still we can read it. It says, currency card filled by Prometheus Romulus contains. So it always remembers who filled the card when you give it to someone else. And at this point, Adra or I could click on this. In fact, I'll have Prometheus click on it. And once it's clicked on, you will see that it will now delete itself. And you can see over here in chat that I received the items. 1 silver coin, the copper coin, and the silver ore nugget, all from the currency card filled by Prometheus Romulus. There's a number of different ways that you could use that, but that, in short, is how the pouch works. Next, I'll talk about the Prohawk Virtual Market. To get to the market, I can click my menu, and there it is right there at the bottom. So we can take a look at this market. The market is a pretty simple facility. There's really only 4 things one can do with it. One is I can get prices of my inventory. So what this will do is it will look inside my inventory and give me a quick rundown of what I can buy and sell at. So this is giving me the values at which it will buy one of each thing that I have in my inventory. It also gives me a readout of what it will sell. Notice that the market is not unlimited in its stock. So it'll tell you how many it has in stock, and it will tell you what the price of each will be. Notice that for these items in my inventory, the market doesn't have anything in stock. I can also simply and quickly ask for a named price. If I don't really want to go through my whole inventory, I can click on Market Prices, and I can just type in, say, 1 pearl. and it will quickly tell me that it will buy the pearl at 12 silver, and it has none to sell me. And the two other things I can do simply are to buy and to sell to the market. In fact, let me do that. So I will sell 1 pearl to the market. I can list it there. I could list other things if I wanted to. Let's say another Fe ore. And you can see that it's done so. So I've received money for the sell, and the transaction is complete. Let's do this. I'll check my inventory price, and what you'll see now is that the market has the pearl that I just sold to it. And it's willing to sell it back to me at 18, even though I just sold it for 12 to the market. So you can see how this is not a money-making venture. Nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and buy it back. I'll buy back the pearl I just sold for 12, and I'll pay 18 to get it. And now I have it back in my inventory. And it's pretty much that simple. That's how the market is used. One thing I will show you is how I can do all this with chat. Let me first turn my web menu off. I can check a market price of 1 pearl. There it goes. It has none left because I bought the only one it had, so I'll sell it another one. There we go, sold it for 12, and I'll buy it back. Market buy 1 pearl. And there we go. The last thing I'll show you today is how to get to your transaction history. This is a very simple report that just indicates your activity over the last day by default, or you can specify other periods of time. To get to this list, the easiest way is to go through my menu, and if I'm using the HUD-based panel, I can just simply click on the Trans button right here. Otherwise, if I'm using the blue menu, or if I would like to here, I can go to List, and I can say Transactions. And there we go. This is something that you really want to be using the web-based panel for, because this can generate a lot of text. And if you aren't using this panel, all of this information will get dumped into your local chat. I find it's a little more handy to have it scrollable and collapsible, which you get when you're talking about the web panel. So you can see some of the transactions that I did during my demo today and yesterday, and preparing for it, I gave over some ore and some copper to Adra, and he paid me and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I would mention in addition to what I just showed you is that if you would like, you can get other time periods in chat by using the list trans. And I could really say anything I want. I could do 2 days, I could do like that, I could say 1 week. And there we have it. That is the transaction record. And that's all I have to tell you about how to use assets and virtual inventory in the Prohawk HUD. So I hope that's helped out. Good luck in your trade and commerce, and I hope you enjoy using the system.